So at the end of last episode, I said that we'd played 10 games in the league and we were running at, I think it was exactly 1.5 points per game, which is pretty impressive for us considering we've just been promoted. Obviously, we wanted to try and keep that up, but I said it wasn't likely. It's not. We're actually improving it by 5 points after 22 games. Is a bit damn silly. And obviously, with us playing 22 games, 38 points, a pretty strong return for us. We want to keep as steady a squad as possible in the January window. So what's actually happened is we've made 19 transfers, both in and out, and quite a few of those are out of my control, unfortunately. So we'll cover what happened there, if I've managed to get adequate replacements, and what we've done in the 12 league games since. You can see we've got a really strong goal difference as well, which again is surprising. Dortmund, Leverkusen, Gladbach and Duisburg, Stuttgart, all behind us. We've got 2 results on screen, one of which I don't fully understand what happened, but we'll cover that in a little bit more depth. But yeah, got quite a bit to cover in the episode. A game against Wolfsburg. We were going to come back against Düsseldorf and cover the end of the transfer window, but that was the team we played in episode 1, and I wasn't going to come back for Leipzig because we played them last episode. So we have Wolfsburg, and we have, as I say, 19 transfers to cover and 12 league games. But before we jump into that, if you could do me the favour, like, subscribe, all that madness would be beautiful. Helps get my little ugly face out there. Our first game after the previous episode was a 2-2 draw at home against Hoffenheim. Quite late goals for us from Aquino and Karademir. Stats are pretty even, if anything, kind of edged towards Hoffenheim. We, for some reason, don't have representation on this graph, so we'll just move on. Following that up with another draw, away from home this time against Stuttgart, which is not a bad result. Again, the stats kind of edging more towards the other team, but we're picking up the point and not getting a loss, which is more important. And on the subject of losses, Bayern Munich put us to the sword, as you'd expect, but annoyingly, in this game, we actually had the better of the stats. But Bayern Munich are Bayern Munich, can't they? So they can have one shot and score 2 goals. And the final game of a pretty drab November, another draw, away at home this time against Bochum, and a really, really dry game. A combined XG of 0.68? Just wasn't one for the fans. So in response to that, we had a 5-0 win at home against Werder Bremen to kick off December. Beautiful. Brace from Aquino, goals from Sturzic, Karademir and Senga to finish off the 5. Then we had a massive 2-0 away win against Dortmund. Deserved as well, to be fair. It was quite even, but we did edge the stats. But maybe a 2-1 would be fairer. Even a 2-2 I probably couldn't argue with. But 2-0. Have a bit of that. A home game now against Bayer Leverkusen, which, if we're looking at the stats, they definitely deserve the win. But they didn't. They got just the 1 point. I was going to say they got nothing. They did. They got a point out of it. But an unbeaten month for us. Extending from the final game of the previous month. That's 4 without a loss. Hertha Berlin now. We beat them 1-0 at home. We just did. That's 5 now without a loss. Man of the match performance from Lewis Parsons. 86-minute winner from Maure. The 6th game in our little run was a 1-0 win away from home at Eintracht Frankfurt. Pretty even again. We edged the stats, but maybe a 1-1, possibly a 2-1 would be more fitting of the result. Number 7 in our run. 6-1. We just destroyed Arminia Bielefeld. I say we. Karademir destroyed them. Stats were pretty even again. We edged it, probably deserved the win, but 6-1 it's probably not fair on Bielefeld. I say it's not fair. It's definitely not fair on them. Number 8. 3-3 against Düsseldorf with a 92nd minute equaliser for them, which I was a little bit miffed about. It does see us at the moment just ripping teams apart. I'm not 100% sure what I've done that's caused this change. If it's the players all gelling with one another, I don't know. So we'd expect, obviously, this one being the last game in January. We've made all those changes. The next game is going to be a bit tricky with all the new players coming in. If it is the fact of just cohesion, then it's going to have an impact on our next game, surely. It did not. We beat Leipzig, who are currently 2nd in the league. I think they were league leaders at the point. We beat them 5-1. And we look good at it. We're just lethal at the moment. We scored 5th minute. They scored in the 8th. I thought, oh, well, I enjoyed leading. And then we just didn't stop. Karadimir picked up another 10. The guy's having a good season. So that's up to date. At the moment, he's scored 22 goals from 19 appearances. I don't know if you can see it behind my head. He's having a good time. He's currently came into us for 2.1 million. He's scored 41 goals from 48 appearances. So he's nearly a goal a game for us, which is pretty mad. I just realised that that was with Schalke. Why did they sell him us for 2 million? Either way, he's doing a good job for us. And he's rapid, which is always fun. And on the talk of transfers, here we are. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to run through the big sales. I'll kind of briefly cover all of them. So I did say 19, 2 of which were loans. We loaned out Yasmin Karic and Georgi Jinchvelashvili. Oh, not even close. And Matija Schmalkowski all went out on loan. He only went because his wages are astronomical and Werder Bremen were offering to pay him. That was it. Small sales, we lost Lawrence Weichert. Tom Reuter's gone for 205k. Florian Ness for 5, possibly raising to 16,000. Adam McDermott went for 20k. Hakathal went for 38.5. Isaac Frimpong, 10k. Papa Ndoy, 65k. And Manuel Caron is the largest of the smaller fees at 725 million. We've had 2 big losses. One big loss, just sheerly on monetary value. Mohamed Al-Khatani has gone to Suwon Blue Wings for £19 million. I don't know. I don't know why he went for so much money. He's good. He's got, or it said that he had a lot of potential. He played 6 games for us, pretty much did nothing. And he's valued pretty high, so I thought I'll just offer him out and see if anyone kind of takes the bait at the higher amount. Blue Wings did. They were all over it. So they've offered me £19 million for him. His value's gone up to 37 to 44. So I am keeping an eye on him. I believe I'm keeping an eye on him. I'm not. I am keeping an eye on him, seeing what happens to him in 3 or 4 seasons. But yeah, to be quite honest, I was quite surprised how much money they took for him. And on the subject of players leaving for money, which is how transfers work, we've had Lewis Parsons poached off us, and I'm pretty upset. He went for £8 million, which was his minimum fee release clause. He just did. So he's gone to Bayern Munich. To be fair, they've played him. He got a 6.7. He was doing all right for us in the 2 or 3 seasons he's been here. I think if any point we signed him here when he was about 16. He joined us at 18, straight into the team, and he's played pretty much every game for us since. But he's left. So £8 million, that's all we're going to see from it, unfortunately. I don't think there's any sort of percentage fees or anything attached to it because it was a minimum fee. So, yeah, a little bit upset about that. We've filled his hole with Lamine Fall, who came in for 31 grand. He isn't Parsons. He just isn't. But he's a decent centre-back, can come in, do a job. He's 6'6", which is always fun. He's good on his right foot, pretty weak on the left, which isn't ideal, but I can shuffle the defenders around we've already got. And he can definitely kind of flesh out the squad a bit, which is what we were looking for. Another centre-back we bought in was Przemysław Butenko? Might be wrong. He probably is going to be the one to replace Parsons. So he is actually a left wing back by trade, apparently. But I'm thinking, if we bop him in there, wide centre back? Left footed, he should do a good job. His aggression isn't the best, which probably could be doing with being a little bit better for a centre back. But he came into us for 2.8 million because it was on his minimum fee release clause. He's played the game against Leipzig, picked up a 7.1, which we're pretty happy about. 97% pass and 100% shot accuracy. Other players that came in, who shall we do? We'll have a look at our centre forwards who replaced Al-Khatani. So I've signed German Cáceres, who's a Uruguayan. His name's a lie then. He's going to come in, kind of fill in the gap that Al-Khatani's left as the backups. So he came in for 2.5 million. He's played 1 game, came on quite late, didn't get a rating, but he looks like he could be helpful. Napoli were chasing him as well, so we managed to sweep him out from underneath them. Another left back we've brought in Andy Harwood. So we've got Batenko, Harwood, and Velisson out that can play left wing back now. So we've got quite a bit of cover there. He's came in for £2 million flat. He again came in quite late on that same game against Leipzig, but didn't play enough to get a rating. But he's going to be coming in as a wing back attack, which he's got mostly the stats for. His crossing and dribbling's a little bit off, but other than that, he should do a good job for us. And his value's pretty much what we paid for him already, and maybe a slight improvement if he plays well. And the boy, the return of Saba Solyom. If you remember him, then fair play to you. He is a Hungarian guy we had on loan from Watford, who played 2 seasons alongside Cedric Tuchel, and he had a fantastic season. He's our deep line forward who has the finishing of 4, but for some reason finds the back of the net. So he's either going to play deep line forward when's needed, or what I'm thinking of playing him more is just this centre mid attack role, because he should do that pretty damn well as well, to be fair. And he can go out wide should we want him to do so, but obviously we're not playing those formations. But 2 positions there, it'll be pretty goddamn helpful for us. I don't think there's any worth or value trying to train him to left wing back, mostly because we've got quite a few, and he's not particularly defensively inclined. If I was going to do it, it'll be right wing back. On attack, bear with me a second, I apparently managed to not click that. Do you know what? To be fair, he's not even that far off doing a decent job there as well. But he's going to be our centre mid, kind of cover along with the other guys. He is quite expensive. If it wasn't for the fact that it was Solyom, I definitely wouldn't have spent 7 to 12 million on him. But it is, so I did. We have a game now against Wolfsburg. I've only been talking for about 4 hours, so if we can jump into it, that'd be beautiful. We have Karademir and Aquino up top, Senga, Solyom and Sturzic in the middle, Batenko, Charis, Jansian, Jankovic and Dua in front of Bertini. That was a mess, but it is what it is. Let's go and batter these little green sods. Fortunately, it's been a relatively quiet game so far, which will help episode length, because, as I say, I've been talking for about a week. So a brilliant shot from Aquino there. Karademir did manage to get possession, but was immediately kind of dispossessed as well. Sturzic, Senga, Solyom. Centre mids, quite tall. That was a pretty poor pass out from Solyom, but it's fine. We move. Chance somehow manages to win the header, even though he's visibly shorter than the other guy. They've scored. Oruhan Babashku. I've got rid of this little bar at the bottom because I don't use it. So I'm thinking just to throw it in the bin. If it's too weird for you, please let me know. But it's kind of just there and in the way at the moment. And I don't know what it's going to do for the rest of things, but I thought it was valuable for me to just see more of the information I actually want. Why have I watched this highlight? So this is quite annoying. As I said, a really quiet game. However, it looks like I'm going to get my first loss in 10. On the first game, I try and show you how well my team are playing, which is always the way, is it not? I mean, I don't know what else we can do. We're playing all right, but we're just not getting the opportunities. I couldn't find this. I'm going to tell him to be more expressive, and what do we want to do? We'll focus the play down the middle, but overlap left and right. And we'll kick the tempo and pass direction up slightly as well. Transitionally, we'll counter press. Do you know what? We've been all right stopping them. I'm going to distribute to flanks and let the keeper kick it how he wants. Hopefully kind of speed the first passage of play up a bit. But, yeah, they've done a relatively good job at keeping us quiet. 83rd minute, we've got a corner, apparently 7 miles away. Let me zoom in a bit. Up to Sam Julian for Wolfsburg. Palacios, Barrientos. And it's a decent save from Bertini. Keeps it in play, though. Gabriel, if we can get the ball off them, have a little attack of our own, be beautiful. Oh, also, I feel like I probably should mention this outside the game. I've asked the board to build a new stadium, and they said yes. What's going to come from that? Not a clue. I don't think I've ever asked the board to build a stadium before. So whether they actually do it or not is a different matter, but they've accepted to at least look. Newport has the ball for us. I've swapped out both fullbacks and Senga for Newport, Kun, and this guy Herrera. Hopefully that will give us some fresh... We've conceded again. How incredibly annoying. So the loss does have us still in 5th place. There's no one really that can catch us because we had a 6-point gap between the teams behind. This is kind of the gap I'm looking at. Maybe it's a 7th. If we can maintain a European charge, that will be insane. That may be the point when the wheels start to fall off, though. And there it is. That run of 9 games is insane. And then we lose to Wolfsburg, who... they're not great. How do I look at the history on here now? There's a section called History there. That'll probably be it. So, if we look at league position, because I'm sure they've recently been... Oh, here we go. Okay, so they spent 1 season in the second Bundesliga and immediately got promoted. So they're kind of perennial mid-table. Okay, that's not too bad, but still, preferable if we don't lose those. We will look to return for Bayern Munich, I'm thinking. Or do we just come back towards the end of the season? Because we're kind of fighting for something at the moment. I'm thinking Stuttgart and Bayern. We'll see where we are then. Because obviously, why wouldn't we play Bayern Munich? Where's the fun in not doing that? But if you have enjoyed today's episode, do me a favour. Liking, subscribing, show support on the channel. Be greatly appreciated. We'll have some items on screen now so you can carry on watching. Go on to the F1 stuff as well. That'd be wonderful. And yeah, thank you very much for your time.